AS407 came to me again with another wild melee loadout. This is something that I've actually used myself somewhat recently. It's a very interesting combination. He made a claim, he doesn't like to boast, but he said if the Ravager got nerfed and crit hits cause explosion got fixed, whatever that means. He might know of a bug I don't, which is typical. He's tracked over 1,000 of them, goodness. But he said if those two things happened, the vacuum tube spear would be the strongest melee in the game, which is wild. But let's talk about the loadout. So Deadly Lotus Luna is a very interesting hero. I don't think I've ever featured her in a video before because spears are not usually that strong, but she increases spear damage by 50% versus afflicted targets and makes all spears apply Affliction, which means the chain lightning from the vacuum tube spear is going to afflict every enemy it hits. Toy rocking out, of course, battle beat, pretty standard. Sub wafers are going to be hard to get in the tropical zone I'm in, but we're going to try. Then we got Monster Smash just to stay alive, pretty basic. As our spear does damage, it'll heal us. And then Assassin Sarah, really basic. This is the founder's version or whatever. The normal hero I can show it on screen. It's just a very base game hero that almost everybody has. She just increases the damage as you swing more. Very, very standard hero. And there are a lot of optional picks. He said you could use Prehistoric Iza for more armor. You could use Dennis for the burgers. You could use Piercing Lotus Edge if you wanted. He's another hero that impacts spears. It's kind of weird, but he's there if you want him. I'm not really going to show it because I'm not really going for that. He suggested Snowstrike. So Snowstrike is kind of hard to show right now because she just got taken out of the Hunt the Titan quest. I don't know when this video is going live. It'll probably be posted during the Frozen Fjord season, which is water in every single 4X mission. So Vacuum Tube Spear, pretty good pick, not gonna lie, but she's supposedly coming out during that season. I don't know when. She might be out right away. Pick her up if she is, but basically makes it so that you're throwing stars when you throw them against an enemy. If you hit them with a pickaxe, Dragon Slash, or some kind of ability, or the chain lightning from your melee, or the melee in general, it'll explode and it will do a lot of damage. It's a very, very effective thing to do. So what he's recommending is I hit enemies further away with a throwing star and then the chain lightning will snake its way out there and make a big explosion. It's a pretty good combination. It's a very active playstyle and it requires me to pay attention to what I'm doing. So hopefully I can keep up. Now, the weapon itself is perked to match the mission we're in. Double crit damage is kind of insane. It's a lot of damage output, but a base 20% is not much. I think one of my teammates might run Boom Base, which could help out a bit. That's why I definitely need to look for wafers so that I can activate that Totally Rockin' Out more consistently. Chain Lightning, of course, is the name of the game. And because of our commander, we can actually run damage to afflicted, which is something you would almost never see on a Vacuum Tube Spear, but it's a really neat combo. And he says damage is very important for the middle perk. However, I am overriding that. I am personally opting for armor just because of the mission we're in. It is a brutal one. So acid pools means I'm going to be taking damage constantly just by existing. And then frenzied death burst means every time I kill a single enemy, everybody nearby gets an increase in attack and movement speed and attack speed, which is crazy. That's a triple boost. And life leech. So that is 3 very good reasons that I think armor is going to go a long way here. So I am feeling like that is going to help a lot. It might not matter. He doesn't think it will, but I want to play it safe. So I'll be using that and healing pads to stay alive. So it's a pretty wild build. If you wanted to make this build a little bit easier, I would recommend an attack speed perk instead of one of the crit damage perks. That would be a little bit quicker swinging, a little bit more consistent. That's generally how I prefer to run it. But I'm going to go for the build he recommended today because he made that crazy bold claim. And then hop in game and check it out. I have not gotten my wafers yet, so take this with a grain of salt, but this is basically the idea. Chain Lightning spreads out, hits a bunch of enemies, Snowstrike comes in and does a great job. It's really, really nice to see. Toy Rockin' Out's active now, so you can see everything just working together. It's nuts. Enemies are, pretty quick moving, but when you're in Shadow Stance, you move faster and have extra armor, so you can see it goes a long way. Wake it up with the throwing stars, which is interesting, because the throwing stars actually do no damage if they don't explode. So it's weird. She takes away the damage of throwing stars while also buffing them tremendously if you can combo with a melee. So yeah, that's Arleniza right there, by the way. Keeping me alive, doing really, really well. Hit them with throwing stars, come on in, nice big explosion. Hoping for just 1 crit, there we go, finishes it off, and that's an easy encampment. I can't think of anything easier for chain lightning weapons than a basic encampment. Alright, we got a basic encampment here. I don't want to waste all my wafers because I don't think we're going to need them for basic enemies like this. Yeah, you just need to go slow swinging just for a little bit. Hopefully kill one of the baby targets. That's definitely one of the priorities when it comes to like chain lightning weapons in general. Go for the weaker target, trigger the explosion, the chain lightning, and everything else falls after that. And then, of course, we are running a melee here, so if something walks away, it's out of range. But having a long-range weapon as a secondary goes a long way for that. I am using the pot shot in preparation for, like, smashers later on with the defense. For normal missions, I'd recommend, like, anything else that's a little bit less expensive and a little less overkill. Holy guacamole, we have so many enemies here, including a taker. Can I just get, yes, early chain lightning. I see that there is the exploder behind me, and I do not want to get hit by that. And wow, he didn't even wake up. He didn't even wake up. No. Okay, he woke up. But the armor kept me alive. Look at that. I'm like standing in acid pools, staying alive. AS told me the damage was important, and I believe him. But you gotta perk around the mission you're in sometimes because it is very important. I mean, I can't honestly suggest spending 600 reperk just for like one mission, but if you're running 160s and you know you're gonna be using a certain loadout, you know you're gonna be running it for most of the day maybe, it can be worth it. As a YouTuber making a video, I'll happily do it because my footage will be immortalized and shared with you guys for years to come, but it's potentially worth having multiple copies of a weapon if you'd like it. Now, this is one of the severe limiting factors. This is bad. This is really bad. One Riot Husky shuts down this entire build, and that is where having something that pierces could be good. Xenon Bow or something, or maybe just using the launcher that is my sidearm. But I don't actually know if I need to save survivors right now. I'm doing it, and I guess we're committed, but yeah, like, I should have just done that a while ago. Just pop up, do one shot. I mean, it is literally a pot shot. That's the whole point. So there you go. Save the survivor. I think I need 50 for a daily. I hope it's worth it. But let's go start the defense. All right, they started the mission without me. We only have a few traps down, but we have a very active team. So I'm hoping things go well. I do not have a lot of wafers. I didn't really prepare enough to get this mission going, but wow. Armor plus Arlene Iza are doing a lot here. I am really, really missing Dragon Slash. Like, a lot. Every single time an enemy simply walks away, I wish I had it. But I have these electric fields down. That should help me with the chain lightning and... These guys are trapping like it's a normal mission. It's like, guys, I'm trying to record a video. I don't need them to be going up in the air. All right, smasher damage, pretty good. Actually doing pretty well. I do intend for my teammates to help out a little bit. This is not a loadout so ridiculously strong that I can solo an entire 160. It's not the Nocturno after all, but it is very, very good. Look at it. Anytime there's a crowd of enemies, is that 500,000 on a crit? I wasn't paying full attention to that, but I am now, and that looks like it was 530,000 when Toy Rockin' Out is active. That's crazy. As for the Riot Huskies here, I don't know what else to do besides running behind them, dropping a smoke bomb, something like that. I can at least target the big boys up there with a pot shot and still die anyway. Is that a discharger in 2025? Oh, I thought they were extinct. So, the plasmatic discharger, for those who don't know, if you're living under a rock or took a break from the game, has been nerfed significantly. They updated it. They fixed the bug that was long existing where it was attacking smashers 7.5 times faster than it should have. I'll link the video down below where I cover the update and you can get all the information more specifically, but basically it is not advisable for anything other than like that, basic crowd clearing, which the deatomizer does kind of the same thing but faster, where you don't have to charge it up for 3 seconds. The discharger is pretty much obsolete. Like, it's still fine. It still does decent damage versus crowds of enemies especially, but yeah, I said I'd be using healing pads, and I'm going to put that down now. Again, I'm trying to spare my wafers. I think what I'm going to do is every full health smasher I see, I'm going to pull out the wafers, and then versus normal enemies, I won't bother, because what I'm showing right now is really, really lackluster footage, and if I'm not saving the wafers for smashers and mini-bosses, I'm not really sure what I'm saving it for. You can see, Chain Lightning goes so far with this weapon. Single target is fine, but yeah, crowds of enemies is where it thrives. Like, I can ignore that smasher right there, come on in here, and do exactly that. It's awesome. And I love to see Kine using another melee build. Let me run over here, and hopefully, okay, healing pad's used up. There we go. All right, trying to stay alive. That's very important. Pro tip to everybody who's been losing their health, try to not do that. This is kind of a rough defense for the mission that or for the weapon that I'm showcasing, because the enemies are very spread out in wide directions, and that is one of the fundamental limitations of melee weapons in general. I haven't been using Snow Strike at all, but the idea was basically this. You tag an enemy like so, and then the Chain Lightning will zap on over and trigger it like that. And I'll try to make more use of her because it is a dead perk until I actually take advantage of it, but it is a very active build. You gotta run around, get yourself closer, reposition, healing pads for when you're low on health, and of course, don't forget your shurikens, but I think we can just start the next mission and hop right into the next one. All right, wave 2 begins. That is a taker. I'm going to try and stay over here. Yep, there we go. Is it possible to do like that? Can I just watch everything explode? I was trying to throw it like somewhat far away, but okay. I need kills. I need damage going out. I need damage going out. I need Arleniza. Come on, Chain Lightning. Don't whiff. There we go. There we go. Get that health up. She scales with your damage loss. There it is. There it is. So supposedly the more health you lose, the more she heals you. I don't know if there's like a percentage of damage dealt in there as well. It feels like she's a lot more effective when I'm using stronger weapons, but I'm not entirely sure exactly how that works. Like, it might be a percent based on your missing health, so the more damage you do, the better, and he's not paying attention. If you're ever down to the map, you gotta look around. The amount of times I have revived myself with Adrenaline Rush, only to realize, or like, gotten up with the revive, only to realize that my teammate was right next to me. It's wild. These beehives are making me miss the crit hits cause an explosion. I actually have not ran that in a very long time, because crit hits cause an explosion can actually blow up all the beehives on the ground. That goes a very, very long way. However, the Chain Lightning does not trigger against that, and I don't even think Smoke Bomb will help you with that either. What kind of mini-boss do we have here? Fire. That is unfortunate. So the only way I could really do well against that might be, well, yeah, might be triple, yeah, okay. Triple crit damage Stormblade. Pretty effective. And, you know, in the spirit of using a melee, I think I'm going for it. Here we go. Let's do that. Come over here. Hopefully the few traps I have down can actually supply enough Toy Rockin' Out activations to keep this going. I know I'm not taking full advantage of my wafers, but I am trying to save some for my primary. This is a vacuum tube sword showcase after all, and normally the Stormblade is, or not the Stormblade, but the Spectral Blade is something I would recommend against using compared to what some other options are, but the 25% extra damage it has over the Ravager goes so far with that elemental coverage. However, as you can see, the Ravager heavy attack puts it in the #1 spot every time. If you're just doing like base main attack speed swinging the weapon normally, the Spectral Blade is almost identical to the Ravager, except for the fact that the Ravager has a 6 perk that is a wave of damage that does millions. It's ridiculous. It's so much more damage than it's normally outputting that it's kind of incredible. And I can't honestly say if I'm impressed or not by the Vacuum Tube Spear. He said best melee in the game if the other best melees weren't there, and I don't know. I like this build. I think for the fluidity of attack speed, I generally prefer that. I mean, extra crit damage is nice, but you can see how difficult it is. That super slow attack speed is like losing me damage left and right. You need to eat a wafer or else you're just not getting the job done, and being reliant on that is not something I prefer. So while I can probably trust that the damage supports this configuration that he provided, I have ran this loadout before. In fact, I already had the damage to affliction on the weapon as it was, because I was using Deadly Lotus Luna, and I do think the combination is awesome. I haven't slowed down enough to really show it, but you can see how nice it is. If I can get a group attack over here, there we go. I want to see that Chain Lightning hit, and you can see they're all just ticking damage. It's not a lot, but once they are afflicted by her, you'll be doing 50% extra damage to all of them. So it's a really, really nice flat damage output, which is really enjoyable. I get more flexibility out of double attack speed, perhaps albeit less damage, but 40% extra attack speed is kind of 40% more damage per second. So even though crit can be a lot higher if you have it active, you can see how much it's whiffing in the meantime. So it's a really, really fun build. I can't say this is like the best melee loadout I've ever tried. Oh my god, everybody should go use this right now. But you can see how much fun it can be, and I'm really glad that I was inspired to show this off at all, because every time AS47 comes to me with a loadout, it's something interesting. It's something interesting, and this was no exception. Vacuum Tube Spear is really, really strong. Even like double attack speed with Luna is really, really viable, the classic, or single attack speed, crit damage, Toy Rockin' Out, also fantastic. There are a number of different commanders that work well with it. Pretty much anything from my melee video, the loadout video link down below is going to be awesome. So that's it. Thanks for the loadout. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys ever want to see more of these, then you should subscribe, because I'll post them. If you want to see them early, you can become a channel member. Every scheduled video goes live to members early, and then eventually it's free to view for everybody, so it's never necessary to pay that membership. So that's it. I'm out of here. Code Mista to check out if you guys want to support me, and I'll see you in the next one. And then